Welcome to the next video in our fleetform.net series. Today, we're going to be talking about multicast and the ability of the site to give you a nice, clean, easy to configure configuration out of the box. What we've got for today is 2 switches and 2 routers. Really very simple config, but by the end of today in this short video, we're going to configure all 4 devices, and we'll show that we'll configure switch 1 as the rendezvous point, and we'll show how switch 2 dynamically finds out the rendezvous point. We could, Fleetform.net for Cisco leverages AutoRP, and it does it all under the hood. But if you don't want to do AutoRP, you could also statically assign a rendezvous point after assigning the interfaces to enabling multicast on interfaces. But where's the fun in that? So we'll configure AutoRP. As in the previous videos, I'm just going to do the really basic configs and the parts needed to do this multicast. So I'm going to just put a router name, give it some IPs, enable the interfaces, and call it a day. So without further ado, let's get to it. We'll start with switch 1. As you can see, I'm already logged in. So I'm just going to give us a host name here of switch 1. And we'll go and configure some interfaces. Oh, by the way, notice the default is layer 3 switch, which is what we wanted. So we're not going to do any SVIs and VLANs today. We're just going to make this all physical interface stuff. So from our diagram, we have 2 interfaces we need to create, one loopback, one Ethernet 00. So let's go configure that. E00. I do like descriptions, so we'll say that this is to router 1. Our IP is going to be 10.04.6 with a /30 mask, and we want to enable multicast on it. The other IP that's on this switch is our loopback 0, 192.168.0.3. And so that looks like a winner to me. Update that config. Now we're just going to configure. We could do any routing protocol. I'm just going to quickly configure OSPF today. So we'll just say process ID 10. I'll assign my loopback as the router ID. We want to advertise that router ID. It's going to be that host. We'll just say he's in area 0. And then we want to advertise our 10.04.4. 10.0.4.4. And that's going to be, no, we want that to be a /3 for a 252 mask. And I think that should take care of OSPF, just like that. Now, since we want switch 1 to be the rendezvous point, it makes it very simple, and it's just a checkbox right there. The key things to keep in mind are you have to make sure multicast is enabled on any interface on our devices today, right? And for Fleetform leverages automatically under the hood loopback 0 as the rendezvous point IP address, just a fact to know. So, and it's in here, right? If we hadn't checked it, or if we hadn't put in a loopback 0 and clicked this box, we would have got an error message, but I already took care of it, so we can update our config, and guess what? We've already got the config we need for switch 1. So let's go ahead and paste that in. these are our two routers. Let's save us a little bit of time down the road and say we don't want that. Make sure there's no running config. We got a default one. Excellent. Do config T and paste that in. Okay. Let's go do switch 2 in the meantime. You have the option of just changing the fields. I prefer personally to just reset the form and start over, but it's totally up to you. So we'll say this is switch 2. Go do the same thing. Our physical interface for switch 2 we can see from here is we have the same loopback or a loopback and the Ethernet 00. So let's fill that in. This one's going to be to router 2. His IP is 10.0.4.10/30, and we want that to be a multicast interface. Now the cool thing about the devices that are not going to be the rendezvous point, all you need to do is say make this a multicast interface, and we're going to see that the auto RP comes up magically. His loopback's 192.168.0.4. Double check on that. 10.0.4.10, 252, multicast, loopback, looks like a winner. Do our OSPF quick. Let's just stick with 10. Loopback as the router ID. I happen to have that here. It's going to be all zeros. Area 0. Now we need 10.0.4.8. Yeah. 03, make him in area 0. And quite honestly, we don't need to do anything else. So we can copy this config, paste him into switch 2. Run config is blank. Excellent. Config T. Okay. Now let's work on our routers. Reset our form. We want to make sure that we're doing a Cisco router here. We'll give it a router 1 host name. Go to our physical interfaces. We'll do router 1. So we've got a loopback, gig 00 and gig 01. Gig 01. Gig 00 is to router 1. And gig 00, I'm sorry. We're doing router 1, so gig 00 is to router 2. So we're 10.0.4.1. 252 mask, yes. And we want it to be a multicast interface. That's the important thing, right? We need to make sure that all of our interfaces we care about have multicast enabled. Gig 01 goes to switch 1. And he's going to be 10.0.4.5/30. And we want him to also be a multicast interface. Finally, our loopback, 192.168.0.1. Apply, update that. Last piece we need to do here, once again, is OSPF. Use our loopback. Add that host. All zeros. In area 0. We've got 10.0.40 and 10.0.44. And there, 252s, all in area 0. That's all we need for router 1. pop him in. Router 1. We already saw that he's got a blank config. How about I do a config T first? That's better. Okay, let's go do router 2 quick. And we can do a little bit of testing. So once again, I prefer to reset the form. Go back to Cisco router. Make this guy router 2. Go to our physical interfaces. Looks like we have gig 0 and 0.1 again. With gig 00 going to router 1. An IP address of 10.04.2/30. Make him multicast. So gig 01 goes to switch 2. He's 10.04.9. Make sure we enable that for multicast. Update that. Give him a loopback. 0.2. Oh, I need a mask for interface 2. What do we got? Oh yeah, I guess I do, don't I? Okay. Update that config. Finally, let's do OSPF and see what we got. 192.168.0.2, all zeros, area 0. We've got 10.0.4.4, I believe. 4.0. .252. And we've got 10.0.4.8 and area 0. And that should do it. Since we've got our interfaces added, configured for multicast, we've got OSPF. We should be able to pop this in, see a little bit of magic, do some testing. After this, we should see OSPF come up. Then we should see some tunnels come up for auto RP. There's our OSPF coming up. What do we got going over here? Switch 2 has OSPF. Look, we've got a PIM neighbor change. That's good. Let's see if we've got our routes yet. Let's see what we're seeing over here. Do we have OSPF here? Let's do a little troubleshooting quick. Oh, router 1, we never did OSPF. Outstanding. So let's go fix that. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat just a little bit. Oh, but I can't. Let's go change our loop back to 1, which is what our loop back was for router 1. Now it'll be here. I can change that. Now, the networks that we needed for router 1 were 10.0.40, which we have here. We need this local loopback and 10.0.4.4. Update the config, and now here's the cool part about this. All I care about is the loopback. So let's just copy that. Okay. And the OSPF. Now hopefully we'll see a little bit of magic. Now if we go to the end of the line, now we've got 1 and we've got 2. Good. So switch 1 should have loop X for router 1, router 2, and switch 2. So OSPF looks pretty good. Let's make sure switch 2. This is a good sign right here, right? So if we do a couple of commands, see we've got a PIM neighbor. In router 2, his tunnel is also up. He should have 2 neighbors, right? Router 1 and switch 2. He should have neighbors that are switch 1 and router 2. So this is looking pretty good. So let's make sure that we've got see that we've got a little bit of magic. Looks like we have some auto RP. Wonderful. Oops, sorry. So this is from switch 2. So for perspective, this guy has an RP automatically that is switch 1. What am I? PIM. I did that one. Okay, yeah, good. So just that easy. We configured multicast with just a couple of clicks of the button. So I hope that you enjoyed the video. Appreciate you listening in, and have a great day. Take care. So long.